Wait, what just hit me? What? Oh my god, why am I being pulled under?
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Colin and welcome to part 3 of my Hardcore Minecraft series, where you get to see how this noob survived 100 days in Hardcore Minecraft. When we left off, we were emerging from a cave after exploring most of our map. The only thing left to do before we got home was to fight our way through this mob-infested mountain. But luckily enough, one of these zombies dropped me a hat that had respiration, which I assume means water breathing. But it had no durability, so I took it home to repair.
And after one last look around to make sure I wasn't missing anything, I was ready to head home.
I made it home that night and was very pleased to see my sheep. I did get quite a bit of exploring done, but we only found one terrible village. As a result, healing my villagers was still very far away. But if I was going to make it that far, I needed to get back to my daily activities. So I sold some wool, harvested wheat, harvested potatoes, replanted, harvested again, and replanted again. It was a very uneventful day, which I like. At least until I tried to return home for the night, and for some reason I was met with a monster army. So I said, screw that, I'm sleeping in my mine shack. The fun continued that morning as an enderman stole a piece of my land and quickly ran off. Then I was greeted by a skeleton in my stairwell, got caught off guard by a creeper next to my sleeping shack, and then snuck up on this spider. I don't really know why I'm so terrible at base security, but I'm assuming it's something to do with light. So I went back to peacefully farming potatoes, and was then very confused to find that I no longer had a potato farmer. Afterwards, I tried to repair my helmet, and like a true noob, ended up disenchanting it instead. I think it wasn't even till the next day that I realized what I'd done.
Then I threw eggs at my contract-breaking farmer.
And with no potato farmer, I had to find something else to do with my potatoes. A few of my villagers had escaped their enclosure, so I built this to at least keep them inside. On day 69, I upgraded my map, and then I realized that doing so blanks it. So I consoled myself by upgrading my Fletcher. He was then willing to sell me a crossbow, so I tried it out. I was extremely unimpressed, but maybe I just don't know how to use a crossbow. On day 70, I had another villager escape. I'm not sure how, but my guess is I left the door open. You guys just really not like it here with me? Is that the problem? Okay, go. Get in your pen. This is for your own good. Then I got my Fletcher to expert so I can get a cool bow, and then I got him to master so I can get a useless crossbow. And then I got serious about securing my wall, although this is kind of pointless because I think it's just a lack of light inside. On day 71, I struggled with my sheep. Then I broke down every tree that was in my wall, thinking it might help. Day 72 was chores, followed by more wall construction. I'm still not sure what's wrong with my defenses, so I'm just lowering the ground. Day 73 was more wall construction, and also lighting things up. Early on in the series, I had done a test wall out of trees just to see if the concept would work. So I created an archway that I would later use for my ocean highway. And after 3 days of wall construction, I stayed up to check my defenses. I'm also pretty sure I hear my dogs eating a skeleton, which makes me realize I haven't seen my dogs in a while. I was having way too much fun with the bow to worry about it though. Something about killing creepers from far away was very satisfying. On day 74 I farmed and then trapped this villager. On day 75 I found my dog in with the pig. I only saw one though, hopefully I didn't accidentally slaughter the others. Then I found out that my wheat farmer sells beets now, and decided it was time for some renegotiation. Okay, what we got? Great, 2 things I don't have. And then I organized my storage. Day 76 was a mining day as I desperately still needed diamonds. I found tons of ore. No diamonds though. On day 77 I dive bombed my sheep, and did some chores.
Then, after a little exploring, I found some cows.
But I had no wheat, so I returned. And as I made it home, was greeted by a zombie horde. After narrowly avoiding death, I built a cow pen on day 78. Then I returned with wheat, and just as the sun was going down, my cows were almost in their new home. On day 79, I realized my Fletcher was dead. I was devastated, as he was my first ever master villager in Minecraft. I'd even built him this balcony where he could come out and get some fresh air. I have a feeling that might be what killed him, though. Why won't you become a Fletcher? I already have a shepherd on the other side. What's going on? To make sure I didn't lose any more of my outside villagers, I built this little extra shelter. Okay, this guy can't even get to the loom anymore. Why are you still a shepherd? That night I farmed and then waited for the inevitable zombie horde. On day 80, my Fletcher was still a shepherd. And in the process of trying to fix him, I let him escape. I trapped him behind some white wool, and he finally realized he wasn't a shepherd anymore, so that's good. But then I let him escape again. After a little convincing, he was safe and sound inside the well. Also, now he was a toolsmith. That night, I finally found diamonds. I accidentally set this creeper off over my obsidian. I was very glad it didn't explode. I knew there was lava under there, so I was very scared. And after almost throwing my pickaxe in the lava, I grabbed all the obsidian I felt I safely could. To celebrate, I made an enchanting table. I have a general sense that I also need bookshelves for this to work properly, but I don't really know how to make them or what they do, so I just do this for now. I also found out what lapis lazuli was for. On day 82, I had some more fun with my bow. Then I grabbed some lapis and got protection 1. That evening, I started construction on a guard tower. And if I was going to be up this high, I wanted to make sure I could catch myself with my water bucket. I got a great look at my compound from up here, and as the sun rose, my tower was complete. Then I built a bridge to connect it to the inner fort. It really feels like a treehouse up on this second story. And with the rain coming down, I just found it incredibly relaxing in here. Even with the constant chicken clucking. This guy fell into a hole that has 3 zombies in it, so we'll see how that works out. And as day 83 came to a close, I was able to look out at my completed watchtower. On day 84, I set out with a larger map in search of a new village. I ran until the sun came down. By now, I'd reached the swampy part of my land, and from here it was a straight shot to the ocean. But I still had a ways to go. So, when I found some sheep, I picked them off, and after a little bit of time clearing the area of monsters, I was able to hunker down for the night. After taking out the morning monster, I was quickly on my way to the ocean. I found a chest and some magma blocks, but they were hidden under the ice. As a result, it was a bit of a challenge to get down and come back up without dying. It took a little while, but eventually I was able to get everything of value, including a map that I'm too scared to use. And after some exploration through these ice buildings that made up a large portion of my land, I found a sunken ship, and this hat that I thought looked useful. After fully crossing the ocean, I finally found another village. On day 86, I realized that this village was mostly filled with books. Unfortunately, I found no brewing stand. But the village was well populated, and it had a great layout, so I planned to come back later. In hindsight, I should have grabbed some of their books. I found this cool temple, but then a spiky fish shot me with a laser and I got scared. And what even is this spoon thing?
And after a full day of exploring empty ocean, I stopped on this sand island for the night. On day 87, I found that this spoon kept me from picking up my bed. So I explored for a bit and then came back for it later. As the sun was going down, I found an underwater temple and decided to explore. But I saw some bad guys, so I ran back to shore to go to bed. After clearing out the morning monsters, I spotted some dogs, who quickly led me to a new village. I could tell it was a pretty terrible village right off the bat, so I just went to go explore the underwater temple I was too scared to look at last night. As I went down to mine this magma block, I was greeted by the local residents. These guys kept me busy a good part of the day. And after clearing out the riffraff, I was ready to dive down. All was well until I got too close to the temple and a new wave of drowned emerged. But eventually I did manage to get down there and check the temple and mine some blocks. My reward was coal and a cursed fishing rod. And then I mined this thing because it looked cool. On day 89, I returned to the village dogs with bones. Unfortunately, I just ended up wasting them. And after temporarily giving up on the idea of pet dogs, I returned to exploring. Little did I know that I was about to experience my most terrifying Minecraft moment ever. Under the water, I spotted a deep chasm filled with magma blocks. Thinking it couldn't hurt to do a little exploring, I popped my head under the water. As I swam closer to investigate, I noticed a wall of bubbles. Immediately upon entering, I noticed I'd lost control of my character. I temporarily surfaced only to be pulled down once again by the bubbles. As I backed away from the zombie, I was sucked down. Within seconds, I was much too deep for comfort. To make matters worse, there was a zombie in here with me. It seemed like the more I struggled, the more I got pulled underneath. But after a few seconds of disorienting terror, I was finally back at the surface. I don't think I'll be exploring any ocean caverns anytime soon. On day 90, I tested out my cursed fishing rod. Then I found some doggies, and by nighttime, one of them was mine. But I needed bones for the rest, so I stayed up with my one doggie and we killed monsters. On day 91, we had a puppy. I've done nearly a full circle around my land at this point, so it's just a short trip home. As night was falling, I stumbled upon an old shack I'd made, so me and the doggos spent the night. And by the morning of day 92, home was in sight. As I entered the compound, I found 2 loose villagers blocking my stairs. I have no idea how they got loose, but I do know what to do with them once they do. After ensuring my villagers' safety, I cracked a beer to celebrate my safe return home. I also tried to make an aquarium, but I think I'm just throwing dead fish in here. This villager's up here judging me like, what are you doing with that fish, buddy? Then I decided to make my guard tower a little more intimidating. I'm not as happy with it as I thought I'd be, but I'll change it later. After that, I added some iron bars and windows to shoot through. And then I realized I can't shoot through iron bars. On day 94, I decided to add some villager professions. So I gave my 2 outside villagers their own pen. Then I made a toolsmith and a farmer. I think I like my tower a little bit more up against the nighttime sky. On day 95, I did chores and made money. I have no idea what to spend my emeralds on, but I'm sure they'll be useful in the future. After that, I started construction on my ocean road. Now, not too long ago, the idea of constructing a road like this seemed very intimidating. However, in constructing my guard tower, I realized something very important. That if you hold crouch while you build, you don't fall off. But I'm not so good at it yet, and I fell off. Unfortunately, most of my land is covered with ocean. Having a road that takes me directly there will greatly increase my potential for exploration. But as I was getting very scared not having full diamond armor, I spent most of that night and the next day exploring caves and mining. And with my bags full of everything but diamonds, I headed back to the surface on the evening of day 96. On day 97, it was back to road construction. And after a productive day, I returned to feed the pigs. It took me a minute to realize I was trying to feed my pigs with wheat. On day 98, I did some chores and tried to tunnel my way through this mountain that was blocking my road. As I ran home that night, I was very pleased with how my road was coming. On day 99, I sold some wheat, sold some paper, and went back to work. I finally made it out of the mountain, but the terrain still doesn't want to cooperate. Better make sure we safety-proof. I don't want to die on day 99. To save time, I brought a bed with me so I could sleep on my road. I am absolutely not building a road at night on day 99. On day 100, I realized I was out of materials, so I ran home to feed the duggies. As night fell, I was close enough to my goal to see the ocean, but I wasn't there yet. On day 101, I awoke proud that my goal of 100 days was completed. A creeper even came to give me some festive fireworks. So, as I run back down my road, I'll go ahead and show you guys the F3 screen. I'm not sure what most of this means, but maybe you guys will find it interesting. Anyways guys, I had a fantastic time surviving to 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore, and if you want to see me go to 200 days, which I would love to do, go ahead and like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you want to see. For now, this is Colin, signing out.